So, welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. I could ask you, like I've asked my other guests, if you can remember your first Lego set, but seeing as you've been an AFOL for longer than any of the others, I think instead I'll ask you if you can remember the first set you bought for yourself as an AFOL, because that happened about 28 years ago.
Yes, about 1992. I was kind of stalking the Lego stores, I wasn't quite ready to make the leap to actually buy a toy as an adult. I thought, back in those days, it wasn't really normal.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but finally I broke down and I bought 2 M-Tron sets.
Oh.
Yeah, the vector detector and I think the pulsar charger, 2 little sets, and then that quickly led to the rest of the M-Tron line and then the Blacktron line, and I haven't really stopped since.
Okay, I'm going to take that spider out of your hair because it seems to be a problem with this tent. So yeah. So
thanks for saving my life.
Yes, there are no more there. I don't think they're venomous. So you were already an AFOL back in 91, 92.
You may have a spider.
I do. Thank you so much. So great. Yeah. Great. You were already an AFOL back in 91, 92, but because there was no such thing as the internet, really, you thought you were the only one. Until you met somebody at a garage sales in Vancouver just around the turn of the century. What happened?
Yes, I used to do garage sales. My parents were antique collectors, and so I grew up and they taught me the fine art of sort of scavenging and buying something from low and selling it for high. So I went to a garage sale and there was a huge pile of Lego instructions, and this is going to be amazing. I'm going to get all of this Lego for really cheap, and it turned out it was just the instructions because this guy, his name was Kevin, and he was selling on Bricklink. So I learned about Bricklink that day.
Oh, expensive.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't jump into Bricklink much. I was kind of hesitant because I had sort of this garage sale attitude, way back 28 years ago. But of course now I'm a huge Bricklink fan and buyer. That he introduced the VLC to me. Yeah. Which was fairly new. It was probably been going for about a year at that point.
Yeah.
It took me about 6 months to actually go to a meeting. Because when you collect Hot Wheels or other toys, you don't really. At that time, you didn't really go to clubs. I think that's the magic of how things have really changed. Everybody connected everybody. Which now I'm on a talk show in Skærbæk. Thanks to him, I was in the VLC and I haven't looked back. Yeah. So the VLC, the Vancouver Lego Club, was founded in February 2000. So it's a relatively early lug, and a lot of the VLC activity in the early days, like many other lugs, revolved around trains. Yes.
Is that where you started experimenting with motorization?
Kind of. I was already into N-scale trains, mini tricks and Arnold, and so.
Did you collect some toys?
Yeah. I was getting back into toys at that time, and definitely, it got me building. My first creations, sort of larger creations, were for a train show with the VLC. And then, it was kind of that first taste of displaying your work in public and getting a positive reaction. My first show was on the news. That was a huge thing at that time. Yeah, because, once again, in the early days, it was all new. Yeah. So, that kind of lit the fire inside me, and I've been creating ever since. Yeah.
So, the reason I ask you about this motorization is that a recurring theme within your mocks is movement, lots of movement. Which is of course always a hit with the crowds at conventions. When you start building something, do you start thinking early on about how you can add functions to it?
Yes. Yeah, when early on I decide whether a creation is going to be motorized or not, depending on what kind of story I want to tell or what reaction I want. The motorization usually dictates how thick the base is, if I need to hide motors underneath. And also how much time it's going to take to build it. It does take extra time to figure out the gearing ratios. I try and make all my movements. I gear them down as opposed to using a train and 9-volt train controller to either slow them. That's kind of cheating. Yeah, I like to crank those train controllers and have all the automation run at the right speed.
Yeah.
So a bit of planning with that.
Yeah. So the technology found in Lego sets today is a lot more advanced than the technology found in the train sets from the early 2000s. Do you keep up? Do you use Mindstorms, for example? How advanced do you want your models to be?
Not very advanced.
As simple as possible.
As simple, so I can understand them. I'm reluctantly, come into the iPhone age and all that. My favorite is actually Control Center, which was from about late 90s, right around 2000, I believe, maybe earlier. They had a big black dinosaur set, and these things are amazing because I can understand them. They have a record and play function. You can control 3 different motors and basically sequence them and record like a 20-second sequence, and then it'll loop it.
Yeah.
So it looks like Mindstorms are operating some of my creations, but really it's a beautiful old control center from
old programming,
1998 or so.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And do you know how many functions or moving things you managed to cram into one display piece?
Oh gosh, probably the most would be Big Joker's Funhouse.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's 7 or 8 motors in that one, and maybe 15 different automations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one really comes alive. What I discovered in that one was if you make most of the figures move, the ones that aren't moving really stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine if the story you're telling is that figure would be standing still, then fine. But so that's why I went into motorization overkill on Joker's Funhouse.
Yeah. Another thing that a lot of your builds have in common is size. From your huge Mardi Gras display through your Lego Gaga concert stage to the first build of yours that I really noticed, the Joker's Funhouse, which the presenters on one of Discovery Channel's TV shows gushed about for more than a minute.
Yeah, that was
how do you end up building such big things?
Gosh, I think because I was into Lego as a creator before, Lego clubs and that, I was inspired by Legoland. And
big things.
Yeah, and the World Lego show, or the World show that I used to tour around. So they had automation in their displays. Legoland, of course, has lots of automation, and I just thought, well, I would do Legoland type creations on a smaller scale. And I had a lot of Lego from doing garage sales, so having bricks was never really an issue. So my brain I can't stop. I get a small idea and then it grows and it gets bigger. And
so it's deciding when it's enough. That's the problem. Okay.
Yeah, that deadlines work well for that.
Okay, yeah.
Lego conventions have saved me on that. Because usually there's I'll give myself 2 months, and then there's BrickCon's always in October in Seattle, so that's usually the one I used to build for.
Yeah.
And whatever I've done by October 3rd, that's what's going to the show.
Yeah. Okay. So you also build in a variety of scales, even though things end up big. You've done some giant figures, Minolad scale, of course, minifig scale, micro scale, even a big Fabuland fun fair with a Fabuland train running around it, and that would even combine scales because it has a giant truck bumped down in the middle of it. What kind of challenges do the different scales bring?
I guess that comes into the storytelling aspect, partly that, and partly, for instance, the Fabuland display does have the large, sort of British lorry, and really I couldn't decide if I wanted to do a Fabuland layout or a big lorry. So I got my gears going, and I did both, and then slowly the story of Fabuland came to be. The story is that when Lego essentially fired Fabuland in 1989 by canceling their line, poor little figures had nowhere to go, so they found an old abandoned truck in a farmer's field, and for a while life wasn't very fabulous. But of course, most of their sets are fun fairs and lots of post offices. And so what else would they do but build a fun fair on an old abandoned truck, and life's fabulous again.
Yeah. So, what are your favorites? One of your own favorites among your own creations came together a year after the Fabulous build. a giant surrealist steampunk sculpture called Unchain My Heart.
Yes.
This has a very particular and surrealistic story to it, and this is also something that ties quite a few of your builds together. There's a deeper meaning behind them, whether it's that steampunk love story, or a build that's about being environmentally conscious, or abstract pieces of art that deal with what goes on in your mind. It's creating a backstory, an essential part of a build for you.
Yes and no. I mean, I've done both. When I first started out building, I would just sort of recreate real-world objects like train stations and trains, and kind of cut my teeth. Doing that, learning how to recreate and get a sense of scale and proportion and color usage right. And then slowly that morphed into coming up with my own stories and then getting more into the artistic side. And for instance, like the Unchain My Heart, that one is the robot. In this case, it's a big chrome steampunk robot, and it represents this little guy inside, and it's his protection from the outside world. He's an introvert. He's single, but he would like to meet a girl and fall in love. So he wants to free his heart from the robot so that he can meet a girl who's coming across the sands of time, which is represented by the tan bricks over a checkerboard pattern. And in this case, the checkerboard pattern represents kind of his life experiences, all the moves that you make in your life, just like a chess game. And he's got a little wine bottle and a wedding ring, so if he can free his heart, he'll meet that girl and fall in love.
Deep.
Very deep.
Yeah, very deep.
Yeah, but that's what I love.
Yeah.
And that one seems to really resonate with people. People seem to like Unchain My Heart more than Joker's Funhouse sometimes. So I've had some of those shows that we go to, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. You obviously love your Batman.
Yeah, actually. I
love your Joker. Yes, okay. So I mentioned Joker's Funhouse earlier, and then you built the Batman versus Joker Gotham Theater Showdown, which was named Lego Creation of the Year in 2016 by Rod and the Brothers Rick. What did that feel like?
That was extremely cool. So thank you. From my perspective, it was a surprise because there was no announcement. Just one day, my Flickr started getting a lot more views. What's going on here? And then I went on to Brothers Rick, as I often do, and I've been nominated. This is amazing. I didn't even know they did this. I think it was the first year that they did a competition, and ended up a week later they announced the winner. It was me. And, that was cool. The great thing about that is it led to them doing an interview with me, which was right around the time I was Skrbk Universe contacted me and was interested in having some of my models come down to be on display at their shows. So it was like this great piece of free VR. Thank you, Brothers Rick.
Your first Lego convention was the very first BrickCon in Seattle in 2002.
Yes. I was physically there as a public, which is kind of a common story. Most staples sort of check out conventions before they commit to like 3 days of hanging out with everybody. Yeah. And then once you do one, you're hooked for life.
So this convention. That's a fly, not a spider. BrickCon is the convention that more than any other has been the one where you turn up with amazing stuff that blows people's minds. Out of 17 BrickCons so far, you've run away with the Best in Show award 6 times. Five times.
One was Rick's Cascade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is important.
Okay, but what gives you the most joy? Winning awards or talking to people about your creations and show?
Probably. Winning is cool. The thing about winning is it sort of ups your profile. Without the support of people like BrickCon and Rick's Cascade and BrickCam, I wouldn't be here because people wouldn't possibly know about my work as much. It creates a bit of a buzz, as far as people hearing about you. But I've never built to win awards. You know, I think that's a path to happiness.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, my love is the creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's that bonus of once you release it into the wild,
People like it.
people's reaction.
Yeah.
To see people get inspired and excited about what you created is very good feeling.
Yeah. There's a picture of you on your Flickr, of you and most of your huge builds. And you're difficult to spot in that picture. You actually keep most of your creations intact. And I'm guessing one of the reasons you can allow yourself to do that is your status as a featured artist for the Skrbk Universe shows, because they must tie up an enormous number of parts.
Yes.
Or just get that one.
Oh,
That's one.
yeah, that's down. Like this, go down in history, it's called Spider.
Yeah. It should be Spider-Man, not Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, really, it's thanks to Big Dad's basement. They have all these models, I was able to beat them. And once again, from doing garage sales and being basically a Lego fanatic, I had a lot of Lego. And that kind of validated the reason why, to my friends, why I have that much Lego. Like, they're like, oh, I understand. You can build these big things. It's okay. You're not just a hoarder. You know? Nothing wrong with hoarding, by the way. Yeah. So thanks to that space, Skrbk Universe contacted me, and their first question was, do you actually have all those creations? And I was able to say, yes, I do. And their response was, okay, we got to talk. And then the rest is sort of history. That, you know, now I tour the universe.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
You are quite a prolific builder. In 2015 alone, as far as I could see from your Flickr, you built at least 5 different models that have piece counts in the thousands and some undoubtedly in the 10,000s. And yet you say you find it difficult to start new projects?
Yes. I have no shortage of ideas in my head, but I would procrastinate. You know, I would rather clean the bathtub, or I can't start building unless the house is really clean. I don't know if that is like. Does anybody else out there have that? Or am I alone?
You have to do everything else first.
Sue-Ann is with me, and the rest of you have very dirty houses, right? Yeah, basically, I don't think about Lego all the time, and I don't build all the time, so it's almost like that is a separate compartment in my mind. And so I have to go through a process of having a clean house, go into the Lego room, there has to be music on, and if I can do that, then I probably will start creating, especially if there's a deadline. Yeah. If all those factors are not in place, I'll always build.
This is your first time in Skrbk. It's first time in Europe.
First time in Europe.
Yeah. One of the reasons you're here is, of course, this pop show. The other is that you installed another of your big models in the Lego house on Wednesday, called We Built This City. A very big and colorful bunch of buildings with a robot in the middle of it, which is working on building the city. How does it feel to have something on display there for the next year?
Incredible. You know, nothing can really prepare you for Lego House. You know, the physical space and the, you know, it's like the cosmic meeting point between the universe and Finland and all the adult fans. Yeah, huge honor. So excited. Not only did I get to come to Europe, I got to go to Lego House. We got to set up creations, you know, on a closed day and see get a little bit of a private tour. And, yeah, I'm so grateful to be there. I'm still on cloud 9. Yeah.
We're getting towards the end, but I have to also ask you quickly about, because like Jonas, who was one of the guests on the talk show yesterday, you managed to get a model successfully crowdfunded in the Bricklink Info Designer program. What was that experience like?
That was cool. You know, like, hello, Shell Retreat to have a Lego set, right? You know, it's the jury's. It's kind of an official Lego set, kind of a Bricklink set.
Probably the closest thing you'll get to a Lego set without being employed.
Yeah. I mean, the decisions were made, you know, in London, and the interesting thing was they asked we were at BrickCon last year, and BrickCon posted a session, kind of an information session, to encourage people to submit builds. And I hadn't really considered doing it because I never used an online designing program. Pretty much everything I build is in the Brick. And so a bit of intimidation about, well, if I have to submit it, I have to learn this program. But they offered some food. I was like, okay, well, they've given me food. Maybe I should submit a design, and which I ended up doing. So within a year, I have the set in my hand, along with 12 other designs, and it's really cool. I'm amazed that they could go from asking for designs to having it set in your hand within a year. To people outside the process, maybe there were some people who maybe wanted their sets in their hands a little bit quicker, but I still think it's a remarkable feat. I'm extremely proud to have been part of that.
Cool. Final question for you, Paul. You've been around for most of the A4 era.
Yes.
What's the biggest change you think the community has gone through in that time?
Gosh,
I thought I'd end on an easy one.
Yeah, this is easy. Let's get philosophical. For me, the biggest, I've never been like a director in a club. I've always been a member of the VLC, but there's always politics in every club. As I travel, you hear about things.
Yeah.
So that's probably a challenge for a lot of clubs. For me personally, the biggest challenge was we're like, Paul, aren't you over yet? But the color changes back in 2003, because that still affects my sorting system. I'm still like, is that new grade? Is that old grade?
But the biggest changes?
The biggest changes, well, you've kind of gone from, I can only speak from a North American perspective. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and we've had sort of invitations from the Lego stores when they first opened in the area. Lego fans were quite involved. There was lots of volunteer opportunities, and now slowly, as there's more stores and more AFOLs, I think logistically they've had to shut some of those doors. In a way, I think it's just ever evolving. I wouldn't even say it's better or worse. It's just that, like now there's Lego House. We didn't have that.
It's a good change.
Yeah, it's an amazing change.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm the wrong person to ask that question, but I would just say it's ever evolving, and it's amazing that Lego supports the fans as much as they do, even though there have been periods where we've had more support, but still just grateful, and logistically I can understand why they maybe don't have the resources to. The fan base is so much larger than it was 10 years ago. There you go, rambling answer.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming, Paul.